welcome to my vlog. So today's vlog will be about the new Nikon D850. So before I actually jump into the review of this amazing camera, I just want to say a couple of things. First of all, I want to say huge thank you to the camera store. Like, you guys have been amazing to me, and I'm so appreciated that you supply me with this camera for a weekend where I could play with it, I could have fun, do the photo shoot and test it, which was amazing experience. And I'm so thankful that you trust me enough, and you're just giving me this amazing gear to play with it. Again, I'm so appreciated, and thank you so much from the bottom of my heart that you guys are willing to help me with everything what I do. So thank you again. So before we actually jump into this entire review, I just want to show you a little bit of behind the scene from the actual shoot. So stay tuned and enjoy this little clip. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little video. There was definitely a lot of fun with the new Nikon D850. It's amazing camera, and that was unbelievable experience working with it. As I said, I never had a chance to have this camera in my hands. I've watched several different reviews, and actually I was watching tons of other videos which actually were showing how this camera perform. And it seems like it's an amazing camera. So I just want to share with you my experience with it. And there's few other things which I would like to say before I'll actually gonna do my review, that I specifically gonna talk about headshot photography. So I'm not gonna really say much about, you know, landscape photography, how this camera perform, and, you know, so in other genres of photography, because I didn't test that camera in those fields. So I have no comments, or I don't have any opinions about that. I'm just focusing mainly on headshot photography. So that's what I want to actually focus on when I'm going to be discussing the new Nikon D850. So before I also gonna tell you, you know, pros and cons and everything what was my experience, I want to say a couple other things which in my opinion are extremely important before I actually just gonna share with you guys my conclusion on this camera. So you know, I've received a lot of emails and messages because I already post some stuff on my experience working with this camera, and I think the biggest thing what I've noticed is, you know, people have huge expectations that whenever they upgrade the camera, or, you know, they're going from, you know, like one model to the newer model, they expect huge changes, and we have to be kind of honest, and we have to be like face it some of those things which are happening nowadays, that progress which was 10, 50, or 20 years ago, you know, it's not happening these days. You know, those progress is the progress is much smaller. So I'm sure you remember, you know, back in the days where, for example, I've jumped into from Nikon D200 to Nikon D3 was a, you know, massive change. There's completely day and night different camera, and you could see significant differences in performance and the quality of the images. You know, there's like, you can't even compare those two cameras. Like, it was just completely day and night. And I think nowadays people still have those expectations when they go from, let's say, Nikon D800 to D850, that, you know, they're gonna also see that massive change and, you know, the massive improvement into the camera, which honestly, it's not gonna happen. And I want to be honest about it, because I think we forget about it most of the time, and a lot of people, as I said, they have huge expectations. But on another note, I have to also say that, you know, those cameras, they make changes. Those cameras, they're getting better, but you know, they're not as significant as they used to be. They do like a really, I would say, baby steps nowadays, you know, with improvement. But also, I think the cameras, they've got so high tech, and, you know, they're so good that most of the time, I think sometimes even human eye and human perception can't really see the difference. And you have to somehow be in this industry for a long time to see the difference into those kind of, like, you know, the newest cameras which they, you know, come to the market. And I want to point this out because I deeply believe that extremely important, and we have to know that, you know, if you see new camera coming out, you cannot really expect it that is you're gonna go from, let's say, as I said, from, let's say, D200 to D3. This is not gonna happen nowadays, and all those you know, upgrades and changes, they're very small, but they are. And, you know, I'm sure those companies, they work really hard to improve those cameras, to make them better, so they can perform better. And I can really feel that, and I could experience that with the Nikon D850. So let's jump into the review and what I think about this camera. So let me start with saying that this is amazing piece of gear. You know, I was extremely happy working with this camera. The camera performed amazingly. I had a lot of fun working with it. The focus was on the spot, was fast, accurate. You know, like, I could really feel that the way the camera performed for the shoot was outstanding. And I have no any, I would say, negative comment saying, you know, this camera, you know, there's some flukes or there's something which, you know, doesn't work properly. I was extremely happy with the way the camera performed, how fast it is, and then how accurate it is. All those things when it comes to performance of the camera. So what else I actually really like about this camera? So I've noticed when I actually downloaded those shots, I've noticed that, you know, there's a couple things. First of all, the skin tones were definitely better than from my D800. And I think it's really hard to explain the difference, why they better. They actually is. And the color's a little bit richer, I found. The contrast is a little bit better. I don't know, the camera somehow reads the skin tones a little bit better than the D800. It's not huge difference, I want to be clear about it, but I've noticed throughout the retouching that the skin tones are a little bit better. And again, I want to add to that probably the average person wouldn't see the difference. You have to have a lot of experience, and you have to retouch hundreds or even thousand images to see that difference. But I've noticed that, and I think that the camera reads basically the skin tones a little bit better than their older version of the camera. Another thing what I really like, and I never actually thought about it till I actually started editing those images, is of course the D850 have a little bit higher pixel count, so like the images are bigger, and that's definitely helped when it comes to the retouching. I found that was quite significant upgrade, and this is something which I really like because I could really dig into those areas which needs to be fixed, and I don't have to struggle much, because when you actually enlarge the image to 100%, like you can fix literally anything. So what else I really like about this camera? So this camera is loaded with a lot of those little features, such as touch screen and like a wireless thing. I don't really want to go into the details because they don't really apply to my work. And on the top of that, I'm not gonna go through any technical stuff because I'm not really technical guy. If you guys really looking forward to know a little bit more, there's tons of stuff online where you guys actually can read it and then find those informations which like can show you the actual technical performance of the camera. I never look into those things, and I hope you guys forgive me. I know that the camera store guys, they know way more than I do, but I just want to share my experience with this camera working on the headshot session. So if there was something which I didn't like about this camera, so I'm gonna be honest with you, there's like literally nothing which I could really pick on, because the camera performs amazingly, and I didn't have any issues with it, and maybe because also I've been working with Nikon for the last almost 15 years, so there's not much difference when it comes to the menus and all the stuff. I feel really comfortable with all those stuff. I also didn't have much chance to test the video. I've heard only positive comments, but again, I didn't have a chance to video anything. So it's hard to say and share with you guys any of my opinions about this actually subject, so I'm gonna leave that out. So what is my comment on this camera? So first of all, what I want to say is, again, it's amazing piece of gear, and I want to say this straight honest. Camera is only a tool, nothing more, nothing less. And if you're expecting that this camera gonna take you over level of your photography from here to here, this is not gonna happen. Basically, this camera is I would say an upgrade for the older version. Have a lot of those little tweaks here and there, which helps you to create a little bit better images, but not to the point that you will see significant difference in your photography. That's unfortunately, it's not going to happen. So you have to be prepared for that. Would I recommend to upgrade this camera? It's really hard question, because I could see significant difference when it comes to the quality of the final images, but I don't think it's gonna give you huge jump like as I said 10 years ago, where you could see the difference like with your naked eye. This is also, it's not gonna happen. But I deeply believe that if my D800 fail, or it's gonna kind of die on me, then I would definitely jump on this camera. There's no question about it. So you have to make a kind of decision, you know, like if this is worth it to upgrade or not. I deeply believe that, you know, the camera is great. It's a fantastic tool, and if you know, if I would be in the position to upgrade, I would definitely, you know, I wouldn't go to, let's say, the D810. I would definitely jump into the D850. So like, I don't want to just kind of repeat myself and kind of say the same thing. My experience with this camera was amazing. I love to work with this camera. I really enjoyed it. The images, in my opinion, turned out stunning. And yeah, if you guys have any additional questions and you would like to ask, I don't know, more specific questions about this camera, you guys either contact me directly and we can discuss this further. But also, like, you know, if you want to know more technical stuff about this camera, I would highly recommend it to contact the camera store, because those guys over there, they'll tell you everything. You know, even when I met with them and when I pick up this camera, they told me so much about it that I had no idea, which is kind of cool to kind of you know, have this conversation with these guys, because, you know, they know this equipment in and out. So that's something which also helps me, especially I'm not paying too much attention to those details. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys enjoyed the little behind the scenes stuff. I will be looking forward to hear from you. And again, you know, thank you for watching. I wish you guys fantastic weekend, and stay tuned for the next vlog. Bye bye.